Our first speaker is no stranger to Grayson. Dr. Jerry McMillen joined Grayson College in July 2012 as its 5th president. A graduate of Bonham High School in Bonham, Texas, Dr. McMillen received his bachelor's and master's degrees in sociology from what is now Texas A&M University Commerce, and later returned to earn his doctorate in higher education. Upon receiving his degrees, Dr. McMillen began his career in higher education as an adjunct sociology professor at Texas A&M Commerce in 1995, and later taught sociology at Paris Junior College and Trinity Valley Community College, TVCC, in Athens, Texas. While at Paris Junior College, he served as the Director of Educational Talent Search. Dr. McMillen returned to A&M Commerce as Director of Institutional Research and then to TVCC as Dean of Planning and Institutional Research. During his time at Trinity Valley, Dr. McMillen was promoted to Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs and finally Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs. During his 2 years at Grayson, Dr. McMillen has led the effort in Grayson College being designated as an Achieving the Dream College. And during his tenure, the college has seen the addition of the South Texas Technical Center. Dr. McMillen has also expanded his partnerships with universities, public schools, and businesses. He has this to say about Grayson's initiative to bring passionate educators together to work collaboratively toward building upon the college's past successes. The reality of today's environment of perpetual change demands that leaders focus on creating sustainable structures that recognize the power of collaboration with clear performance expectations. Please help us in welcoming a leader in higher education and student success, Dr. Jerry McMillen.
So I need my glasses. On behalf of the Grayson College Board of Trustees, our faculty and staff, our students, our officers here at the college, our community, welcome to Grayson College. I'm declaring this the world headquarters of Phi Theta Kappa for the next 2 days. Can I do that? All right, so the world headquarters for the next 2 days. Yeah, well, we've changed the college's name recently, and let's don't go that far because that's a really hard and long process. But welcome to Grayson College. It is a particular privilege of mine. You already learned about my high school days, college days, and all those things. I served as the president of my 8th grade class. I'm just kidding. Some things I want to share with you about Phi Theta Kappa is my connections with Phi Theta Kappa, and those start out with my experience working with Phi Theta Kappa at 4 institutions of higher education, 3 community colleges, and 1 university. The 3 community colleges are Paris Junior College. I saw someone in the room from Paris. All right, one person. Come on, let's cheer them on. Trinity Valley Community College. I saw the folks in the back there, so yay. I think I heard someone whoop or something from Texas A&M University Commerce. Is someone, all right, so that's the university that I attended, and there's a alumni chapter, I guess you call it there, and that's important to me. I had experience there. And then finally at Grayson College. During my exposure to Phi Theta Kappa, I've witnessed some magical things. The theme of this is magical leadership, the magic of leadership, and just want to talk about those things. But before I do, I'll share with you something I meant to share with some advisors across the state of Texas a couple of weeks ago. My wife has served as an advisor, so I know, advisors, what you do. Advisors, will you please stand up and let's give you a round of applause. Grayson College. I have been to your national convention. How many have been to the national convention? So I see about half the hands in the room go up. If you have an opportunity make sure you make that event. It's like this on steroids. You'll be so excited from the second you start to the second you end. It is a wonderful experience. My first experience with that was with my wife was an advisor for Phi Theta Kappa. And I could never understand why she wasn't in her hotel room until 12 at night or 1 in the morning. And there were all these things going on, and I had this disbelief about that. Well, I finally went to the national conference, or international conference. I was awarded the Outstanding Administrator Award, and that was a privilege. That award really was an honor to me because I see in the work of every Phi Theta Kappa a passion for their community and their college, and being able to work with students and the advisors is a privilege. And so to be recognized by those advisors in that way was phenomenal. That is a phenomenal event. I encourage you to go there. And then I understood why it was 12 at night and all those things as I went to Disneyland. And then I had a 2-year-old son at the time. He didn't understand why I didn't take him with me. I personally know and have mentored 3 Jack Kent Cook scholars. Countless others have received honors of scholarships and awards through names you would recognize as Phi Theta Kappans. I am honored to have had that experience across time and to be able to continue that here with you today. So I am exposed to, committed to, and believe in Phi Theta Kappa. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to make a little bit of an odd request right now. How many of you have a watch on? Kind of interesting. Okay, how many of you have a phone if you don't have a watch? All right. A really strange request. Just bear with me. Take your watch off if you have a watch. Put it on your right hand. Off the other hand, whatever that is. We're going to do the same thing. Y'all done this? No? All right. If you have a phone, I'm assuming it's in your pocket. If it's in your purse. If it's in your left pocket, put it in your right pocket, or vice versa. If it's in your purse, put it in a pocket. It's about active learning, folks. It's a good thing. We like active learning. Okay, what I'm going to do next is a little strange. I'm not going to tell you why I asked you to do that. I'm just going to go on and talk about the magic of leadership in Phi Theta Kappa. Let me talk about community colleges in general first. In the state of Texas, 78% of the students that get a bachelor's degree have some experience at a community college. 78%. More than half of all undergraduates in the state of Texas attend community colleges. We are a vital pipeline to the success of our state and our nation. In Texas, that 78% that I shared with you is the highest in the nation. We are unique in that regard, and it speaks to the partnerships that we have with our public schools and the exposure you have and belief that you have in us as a viable alternative to other opportunities in higher education. I appreciate you being a student at a community college. I appreciate you being a student in Phi Theta Kappa. When you talk about magic, you've heard my introduction. Institutional effectiveness is a background of mine, so I look at data a lot. Numbers are important to me. I've already shared a few of those with you. I was at the conference with the advisors a few weeks ago, and it was shared with me that more than 90% of you, so 90% of you will get a bachelor's degree on time. 90%. We have a few administrators in the room. We have another president in the room. I have never heard a number that big. Have you, Dr. Marshall? Have you heard that number? Anybody? Dr. Stanzo? That is huge. There is magic in Phi Theta Kappa. There's magic. You have talent. You have a responsibility to share that talent. I work with you. I know that you share that talent in your communities, whether that's with Relay for Life, projects to clean up parks, efforts to build food banks, any number of things that you all are doing. The collective impact of Phi Theta Kappa is phenomenal. It's amazing when you give, though, what you get out of that. And then this talk is about leadership, the magic of Phi Theta Kappa and leadership. When you give, you receive a lot. And you all are givers through Phi Theta Kappa, and I appreciate that giving. You can, here today, harness your power to influence the actions of others. One of the initiatives I'm very proud of that Phi Theta Kappa has embarked upon is the C4 initiative, the Commit to Complete initiative. That is vital for us at community colleges across the state of Texas. If I could talk to you about one goal I have at Grayson College is that our students complete what they start. They finish what they start. We've done a lot of talking about that. 96% of you are going to do that and do that on time. C4 has various impact. How many of you have C4 initiatives on your campus? How many of you are convinced that you've transformed the entire institution with your efforts? Okay? Let's talk about defining, changing the whole campus. Is everybody graduating at 90% at your campus? No. Let me tell you what I think the C4 does. It rolls out across our campuses in unique ways, opportunities for you to touch people that are vital in the life of the college campus. The direct contact that you have with Dr. Mason in history class, when you talk to him about C4 and Commit to Complete and what it means to you and how that's helped you, and the resources that website provides and all those things, helps him to turn a light bulb on and go, you know, there's something here I may connect another student to. So if you've helped him to connect one other student to that, you've done a phenomenal job. You have influence over other faculty. You have influence over students. You can talk about that with other students, about how you can help students to complete. And oftentimes, brand new students have early failures. Let's not talk about those as early failures. Let's talk about those as opportunities to learn how to be a better student, and let's help each other get through the next step. Inspiration to staff. When we see students talking about the thing we care about, it energizes us. It energizes every single person on that campus. When the student is volunteering time, asking people to make a difference, it matters. A deeper engagement with our community leaders outside of our college. You may have efforts where you're talking about C4 with your public schools or with your university or with members of the local homeless shelter. Wherever that happens to be, you can have, and I know you have, that impact. And in my case, an aha moment for a board of trustees. Our board of trustees are our partners in student success, and you can have an impact there. I share every month successes that we have at our campus with my board of trustees. I can't think of a single month where I haven't shared something about Phi Theta Kappa with my board of trustees. The most impactful thing that we shared with them is their efforts to commit to complete. And even, I'm optimistic, even our legislators. I'm going to Austin on Tuesday. I'm testifying, right? So folks from Austin. So I'll be talking to our legislators about some things we need to have happen in our education system. The door, higher education in Texas may be closing somewhat. We have a new test that allows students to test into developmental. Most of you tested above that, some of you may not have. When I started college, I was in developmental studies, the intermediate algebra. Now there's the test has a floor on it, and students cannot get into developmental. They swim around in this other land. We haven't developed a name for it yet, but they can get lost there and then get lost in developmental and not complete their degree. And so what we're told in Texas is that impact will be one where we see students go to that lowest level, wouldn't be eligible for financial aid there, so they would have to take more hours, which means they likely won't be as successful. Those students were told we can use the resources we're allocated for adult basic education there. In the case of adult basic education, the state of Texas funds those efforts, some at community colleges, some at other organizations. We can serve 100,000 students. We have 3 million students in need today. We fund enough for the city of the county of San Diego in California. So the Californians, welcome to Texas. Glad you have your adult basic education behind you. When you tell those stories at the legislature, legislative day next February, our legislators will listen to you. You have a voice, a spark, an impact, and that's leadership for me. What you do matters. We listen to you as students. At Grayson College, we celebrate the success of our students and are inspired to serve you better and be a better college. Today, the title of my discussion, finally getting to the discussion I was hoping to have. The title of my discussion is Leadership, Transforming Lives, Building Community, and Inspiring Excellence. So I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of thinking here. Leadership. I want to ask the audience to tell me, just think about it for a minute. Close your eyes. Tell me what it is, what leadership is. Tell me of the time where you've experienced the magic of leadership. Whether it's on your campus, in your church, in your community, wherever. What is it? What is the magic of leadership? And then think of 2 to 3 words to describe it. Okay. Tell me, sort of like popcorn, what words came to your mind? What is it? What is the magic of leadership? Serving, helping others, open-minded, directed, is that what I heard? Determination, interaction, influence, inspiration, supportive, legacy, example, is that what I heard? Success, okay. Interestingly, all of my plans did that in order. I've had it written down right here. I'll repeat everything you said. I'm just kidding. Inspiration, knowledge-based, action-oriented, problem-solving, teamwork, situation-focused, principle. When you thought of leadership, and you thought of the magic of leadership, just 1 or 2 of you just describe a little more elaborately what you thought of. Just give me a couple of examples.
Desire to emulate.
So what I'm thinking of is the specific scenario or environment you experienced this in. Was it in your home? Was it in school? Was it in what was it? Who was maybe the leader, or were you the leader? That sort of thing.
At a leader cast seminar.
At a leader cast seminar.
And I was able to hear several speakers, and they are what spurred me to want to be a better leader.
Okay, great. So you had an experience at a seminar that made you want to be a better leader. What some others?
Armed forces.
Armed forces. So there's a good example there. In that scenario, it's really life or death. It's really a commitment to following and leading. What are some other examples?
Poverty and hardships.
Poverty and hardship. So expand on that just a little bit.
When your life is not what it could be, you have the desire to make it that.
Okay. We're reading a book on poverty at Grayson College right now, and we're studying how to be better as a college and help all our students to be successful. What underlies every single thing you just said?
Aim. Determination.
Determination,
Perseverance.
perseverance, potential,
Servant's heart.
servant's heart.
Caring.
What's that? Needs that need to be filled. We're in Achieving the Dream College, and we talk a lot about our data, and that really relies on us knowing what to do, right? If we just knew what happened, we would know what to do. I think y'all gave great examples, but to me, the difference is, or the underlying factor is action. It's action. Just do it, a la Nike. It's action. If you think about it, if you know how to do it, if you go to the conference, you gather that information, if you don't act on it, how effective is that in our community, in building a better community? So in my mind, action underlies all of those things. So what do you need for leadership to be successful? What are some basic elements?
A leader.
People, a leader. Communication is a great one. Organization. A leader is this is a leader or leaders. Which one?
Leaders.
Leaders. Okay. The more the better. What if we're all leaders? Structure. You got to know when to act, when to lead, when to follow. So leadership. We talked about that some. Transforming lives. So the talk is transforming lives, building community, inspiring excellence. Transforming lives is something you feel. So you felt something at that seminar. You felt something when you talked about the poverty and transforming that. something in you connected in a way that you felt exactly what I was talking about when you talk about the leadership experience, the magical experience. One potential underlying assumption of leadership is one of change, right? Leadership implies change.
Yes, sir.
Change in what? Values, beliefs, attitudes, actions. Understanding about the differences that others hold with you. Change is at the heart of leadership. Commitment is at the heart of leadership. And so, if those are the underlying things, why is leadership so hard? Is it because people don't like change? Do we like change? No? How many of you still have your watch on the other hand? How does it feel? Kind of weird. Or your phone in the other pocket. Do you feel that? I feel the weight of this watch on my hand. When I put it on in the morning, it'll go back on the other hand. If I wear it over here for 30 days or so, it may go on this side. I don't know. So you feel when you experience a transformation. But it's awkward. And so when you lead others, you need to let them have the feeling of leadership change, feeling of transformation. If you deny people that, you will not see true change or true transformation. If you want to transform lives, that is, if you want to transform processes or transform the paperwork we shuffle around or transform the rhetoric that we spew in our media, that's one thing. But when you want to really transform lives, it's about something that people feel. When we're dealing with people, the feelings matter. Maya Angelou said, and she was talking about this in a little different context, but she said, people forget what you say, but they never forget how you made them feel. If you want to focus on leadership, and you want to focus on how people can commit to transformation, you need to focus on how they feel. Let them go through that. So how then do we create a sense of belonging in a changed environment? What are the natural tendencies of people to change in an environment? What are some of the possible scenarios when we seek to change? We're going to all change some major way this weekend. I know it's going to happen to you. You willingly came to this. You're open to that. Not everyone is as willing or as open. So what types of things can happen? I think one thing that will happen this weekend is you are going to feel that you're all in this together. And that at the end of the weekend, you will be ready to change the world. I am very glad about that. Amen? Everybody ready to change the world at the end of the weekend? What do you think? Some other reactions to change can be us against them. We don't believe in that change. There's no need for that. Or survival of the fittest. Hey, you guys can do it, and I'm going to take care of me. There are all sorts of reactions that people can have. And know that all of those are going to happen when you're trying to transform lives. And be aware and ready to help people through that. Leadership is about helping people to move up. It's not about the leader. It's not about focusing on the leader. It's about how I can help other people realize their dreams. If you commit to it in that way, you will make a transformational choice in your life, and your giving will turn into huge receiving. Building community, people lean into things they help create. People lean into things they help create. Can you think of a scenario where you've been truly transformed, and what caused you to experience that transformation? Did you help create that? Were you a part of it in a substantial way? My guess is that you were. Can we do that without understanding each other? That's a fundamental question that I have. So we're going to have another exercise. Mary, how am I doing on time?
You're good.
You good? Another exercise. Stand up. I see a lot of folks in the room. Some of you seeing old friends you haven't seen in years. So just take 30 seconds and look at them. Really, really observe them. You can talk. It's good. one person, observe that one person. Turn the other way. Okay, pick one person next to you. Got that? Pick one person next to you. Now, look at that person for 20 seconds. Change is substantial for people in ways that we may not recognize. When I ask someone to change their watch from the left to right, that's a weird experience for them. But for me, it's just simple. Just wear it on the other hand. You've got to remember how people experience that. And know that people are going through change all the time. Know that people need to be understood. And they're not going to tell you what necessarily is changed about you. My hope for you is not that you will notice what each other changed just now. My hope for you by the end of this weekend is you'll notice some things about other people that will help you to connect them with other people so that you can truly build a community that's more powerful than the individual efforts of each one of you. That you'll build communities across your campus, that you'll build community across colleges, that you'll build community across Texas, that will build community that will impact in California or in Kentucky, that will build community in ways that will transform our future. When you talk about the magic of leadership and the work of a college president or the work of an educator, our work is about doing one thing. It's about educating you to lead tomorrow. It's about educating you to lead tomorrow. That's our one great hope. That's why we do this work. It gives me chills. I have chills on my back right now. It inspires, so the final thing I'm going to say is inspiring excellence. It inspires me when I see our students taking leadership roles today. Actually, some other student groups today are gathered around a pond that we have on campus that's grown up around the pond, and they're going to clean that up. I see that happen on campuses over and over again. We see that happen in communities over and over again. Someone says something like this, it's not exactly, I have a toddler at home or had a toddler, so I watched a cartoon once that said, see a need, fill a need. See a need, fill a need. And that's really what we need to do. When we see each other doing this great work, and when we give, we receive, we inspire excellence in each other, and we inspire excellence in ourselves. I asked my 8-year-old son this morning if he had anything that he wanted me to share with the 400 of you, and he said, "I don't know, Dad. Tell him glad you came." Those of you from Grayson College know he's usually a little more insightful than that. Then he went on and he said, "Be honorable. Be honorable. So integrity is important." This was interesting. He said, "People know and watch what you do. You're the only connection some people have with a college experience. They are watching you in your college experience. You are inspiring them that they may too go to college and transform their lives. The path out of poverty for people is long and hard. I came through that path. My mother worked 3 jobs. She attended this college. She went to Brahms one day in her Walmart uniform. We ate things for 52 days in a row, 52 weeks in a row. Soft fried potatoes is a good thing in Texas unless you have to eat it every day of the year. People know and watch what you do. They watch what you do. Your kids are watching you. Your siblings are watching you. Your parents are watching you. Inspiring excellence is what you're doing. And I appreciate that. One thing I will share with you is athletic captains, because if I asked you who had 4.0s, most of you would raise your hand. This is something I will share with you as a student who's only received 4 B's in college, the rest were A's. High school wasn't quite that stellar. In fact, there were times that 70 was a glad day in our home. Don't let perfect be the enemy of progress. Some of the best classes I had, I earned a B in. Chemistry, 89.6. Dr. Razanek at Texas A&M University Commerce. Some of you may know him. And I went to visit Dr. Razanek and said, "Dr. Razanek, my whole life that turned into an A." He said, "Son, we're in chemistry. We're more precise than that." I have a B, but I have an appreciation for chemistry and I have an appreciation for that man because he created an environment in his classroom and his experiences with me and experience with other students, and his passion inspired me to want to be a better person. And I'm proud of that B, more than some of the A's I received with much less effort and much less work. I wasn't a chemistry major. I just had chemistry in high school. I enjoyed chemistry. But don't let perfect be the enemy of progress, which ties back to one of the things we talked about earlier. The underlying principle of leadership is action. You can know what to do, you can think what to do, you can feel what to do, but it doesn't really matter until you take action. So I encourage you this weekend to think about ways you can take action today, tomorrow, and every day so that we can make a difference in this world beyond what individually we can accomplish. Thank you.
Dr. McMillen, on behalf of the Texas region, we would like to thank you for joining us today and thank you for your gracious welcome to Grayson College. Please accept this gift as a token of our appreciation. I would like to ask our regional coordinator, Ms. Debbie Esparza, and our associate regional coordinator to please join me on the stage.
And I would like to ask Mary Linder and the members of Omicron Psi to come to the stage, please, and join Dr. McMillen. And while they're making their way up here, I'd like to take a moment to just highlight some of the work that they've done. Can you imagine the work that goes into preparing for a crowd this size? Well, they have done an unbelievable job in making sure that you have a wonderful time this weekend. Let's give them a round of applause as they make their way. we hear that if this chapter does not have the support of their president, like Dr. McMillen, they are not half as successful. So Dr. McMillen, thank you very much. Chapter from Grayson College, we would like to present this plaque. In appreciation for their hard work, and I'll tell you, when we came up here for the planning meeting, they literally rolled out the red carpet for us and have just done a phenomenal job. One more round of